Reverend Cullum can't do it because he's out of town, but he says Reverend Werfel is excellent.
What determines being excellent at a christening?
Knowing which one of us is the baby.
You're gonna take this seriously, right?
Hey, sorry I'm late.
You're always late.
Well, that's okay, Uncle Vincent. We know you have a tough schedule, and it's wonderful to see you whenever you can make it.
Just wait till Saturday when he's late for your christening.
It's what?
The christening. Saturday, 11 a.m. Did you forget?
No.
Oh, Jillian, did you remember to invite the Hazeltines?
The Hazeltines? I thought we hated the Hazeltines.
You're not supposed to hate people.
That's right, Lauren. And I'm sure Peter didn't mean hate.
No, I meant, love challenged.
I invited them and they're coming.
Am I in the right house? Why are we planning a christening? No one here has been inside a church since I was Ned's age.
Well, it's symbolic. It's welcoming Ned into the world, to the family.
I don't think there's anything wrong with asking God to watch over him when you look at what's going on in the world today.
Amen.
Besides, it's a great excuse for a party.
Yeah.
If it means that much to you guys, go for it, but I think I'm gonna pass.
Oh, Vincent, this is very important to your brother and to Jillian.
Mom, I'm not religious. I don't want to put on clothes I'd only wear on a dare and go to church, stand up in front of everybody, and feel like a hypocrite.
It's okay, Mom. We respect Vincent's feelings.
We were just going to ask him to be the godfather.
Godfather? Me? Is a navy blazer okay, or do I need a suit and tie?
I like it when you don't shave.
That's good to know. I'm not above using stubble as a seduction tool.
Like you need one.
No, I mean for later on, when my dynamo, juggernaut, stud muffin routine is old news.
You think I only love you for your stud muffin skills?
You use the L word.
I'm sorry. Should I have waited until you have your running shoes on?
No. In fact, I've been thinking.
Where are you going?
I'll be right back.
Vincent?
I told Donna I would take this feeding. She's been up every night this week. Tonight we're serving le bottle au microwave. The chef recommends you gulp it down in 3, perhaps 4 minutes.
Don't you think this is a little strange?
What?
Well, I mean, it's wonderful to see you with a baby in sort of a bizarre flash forward to domesticity kind of a way, but that was...
Is everything okay?
Fine.
Would you mind not fighting in front of Ariadne? It's bad for her digestion.
We're not fighting.
I can feed her if there's a problem.
No, there's no problem, Donna.
I see cranky people. They're everywhere. They don't know they're cranky.
All parties are present in the matter of Colin Ingram. Colin is accused of causing the death of his 13-year-old sister, Andrea, who was shot in the head with a shotgun that Colin took from the locked gun cabinet in his father's study. Counsel.
Your Honor, those are the basic facts. I would add that the locked gun cabinet became unlocked because Colin took the key from its hiding place on the top shelf of his father's closet. So this wasn't just a case of, hey, let's play with Dad's gun. We are asking for the maximum sentence.
Your Honor, this is a horrible situation, but it's not a murder. It was a tragic accident which we plan to prove, and we will ask that the charges be dropped and that Colin Ingram be allowed to return home and begin the difficult healing process with his parents, who have suffered enough without having their remaining child taken away from them.
Thank you. Well, the two sides couldn't be further apart, and I need to hear some details, so why don't I see everyone back here
Tomorrow at 2:30.
tomorrow at 2:30. Thank you.
An abused child is dragged all over the city to tell an extremely painful story over and over again. This horrendous process causes many parents to give up long before the perpetrator has been brought to justice.
And you think Sanctuary House can prevent that?
We'd have a full-time staff to see the child through every step of the process.
Social workers, law enforcement officials, a child psychologist, and of course a prosecutor from your office, all in one location.
Much easier on the child and parents.
Ms. Gray, we can see the allure of consolidating, but the state attorney's office can't spare a single body, not with the current logjam of cases we're staring at.
Not to mention liability issues. We've concerns about possible overzealousness and false charges.
Not to mention the task of trying to find someone to run this thing.
Dr. Winston will supervise.
With Ms. Gray's assistance, of course.
What's the matter?
I'm concerned about the fact that your director is a drug addict.
No, my director is a former drug addict. I myself am a former high school student. And everyone in this room used to poop in their pants. What exactly is your point?
We'll take a look at your proposal and we'll get back with you.
Don't you think it's weird that all the ways of describing good wine are kind of revolting?
You mean like it has a long tongue?
A slight whiff of fruity sulfur with a hint of manure and walnuts. And who was the sadist who decided that lobster tasted best if you threw it into boiling water while it was still alive?
It's probably the same guy who looked at an artichoke and decided that there was something in there worth fighting for.
It's going well.
What?
Us?
Are you asking me or telling me?
I don't know. Do I need to make my case?
No. I think I have sufficient evidence.
The other day, Zach asked me, why are you always talking to Lauren's mom in carpool lane?
Oh, no. What did you say?
Something clever, like, eat your spinach.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Point is, I don't like hiding things from him.
You think we should come out?
At least to the kids. I mean, isn't Lauren asking questions?
No, mercifully not. It's not about NSYNC or her hair. She doesn't really seem to care.
Still, I think it's time, don't you? Since we both suspect this might be going somewhere.
Telling the kids. It's a big step.
I think I'm ready.
Shouldn't we wait for a more organic time to tell them?
Like when?
Next Christmas?
Saturday looks pretty organic to me.
Oh, no.
Look, we got through the tough part. We got undressed with the lights on. Going public with the kids should be a piece of cake.
Pour me some more of that revolting wine and give me a gushy kiss, and I'll think about it.
Would you stop? It was perfect 3 drafts ago.
That was before I pulled a thread and it unraveled like a cheap suit.
I want to talk.
Uh-oh.
What?
No conversation ever started that way, and I know good for the guy.
I want to have a dinner party.
See?
I have met your family and your roommates and your coworkers, and you've never met any of my friends.
I assume that you dropped them when you met me.
And I want to have it at your place. My oven doesn't work, and I only have 2 chairs.
This is some sort of test, isn't it?
People in our predicament have parties all the time.
Our predicament?
Young, single, in love, no kids.
What about Donna and the baby?
I have talked to her already, and she is happy to make herself scarce for an evening.
You are the definition of proactive.
You could say no.
Somehow I don't believe that.
Peter, don't forget to recharge the video camera.
I don't have to.
Why?
I've hired a professional videographer.
Oh, honey, I'm going to miss the traditional 15 or 20 minutes of sideways pictures of your feet.
Why won't anyone take this seriously?
Jillian, if you and Peter need a ritual, then believe me, I'm taking it seriously.
Really?
Yes, dear, I am. This is going to be very festive.
Oh, good. That must be the florist.
This late?
Yeah, he called half an hour ago. Said he was on his way. Evie. Hi.
Evie, you can't just show up without calling. We had this conversation.
I know, but I didn't think you'd want to hear this on the phone.
Hear what?
I've hired a lawyer to help me get my baby back.
You can't do that.
The adoption is final. You were there.
But that was before.
For what?
Before I tracked down Ned's father. He never got notice, and he never signed off on the adoption, so my lawyer says we have a good case. Here's her card. She'll be calling.
We have a fully executed decree. Why is that not enough to protect us against some jerk who shows up out of nowhere and claims to be the father?
Peter, let's try to stay calm.
Mother, not now.
You've done everything the state requires of adoptive parents, and you happen to have a sister with a legal background who specializes in this area. Let's not jump ahead to the full catastrophe.
Amy, are we gonna lose him?
Well, strictly speaking, if the biological father wasn't informed of the adoption proceedings, then he does have certain rights.
Oh, my God. Why didn't someone tell us this could happen?
Because it's never happened in Connecticut.
Well, what do we do now?
Well, we don't panic, and first we require this guy proves paternity.
And if he does?
If DNA tests prove that this man is Ned's biological father, then we'll think about getting you guys a lawyer.
We have a lawyer.
A killer lawyer, somebody who specializes in contested adoptions.
You think we need a killer lawyer?
If Amy says you do, then that's what we'll need.
One thing at a time. First, the issue of paternity. Okay?
Oh, God. We can't really lose him, can we?
The budget office, not wanting to waste any time when it comes to delivering bad news, is cutting back the budget for our spring vacation interns by 1/3.
Sean, I have to make a copy of an adoption file. I need you to look the other way.
No,
there's no way I can do that.
Then you need to forget this conversation.
Maxine.
They're cutting 1/3 of the spring break interns. I can listen and talk at the same time, but I won't.
Which brings me to the most pressing bad news. We are looking at yet another lawsuit. An 18-year-old former foster child says he couldn't handle the transition into the real world. Judging from the fact that that's a direct quote, I'd say he got the idea from something he read in the paper.
Well, at least there's an 18-year-old out there who's reading.
I'm glad you find that amusing, Maxine, because you're one of the caseworkers named in the lawsuit.
My partner and I arrived about 5 minutes after we got the dispatch from 911.
Was there anything that impressed you about Colin Ingram's behavior at the time?
He was eerily calm.
Objection, Your Honor.
As a paramedic, Mr. Pasqua is well qualified to comment on state of mind.
Sustained. Let's just stick to the facts, Mr. Pasqua. Thank you.
We found the body of a 13-year-old female in the basement. We checked her vitals and determined that she was deceased.
Did you attempt to resuscitate her?
The gunshot wound was, most of her head was just gone, Your Honor.
Was there anyone else in the basement?
Another young girl who identified herself as a friend of the victim.
And was this friend also calm?
No, she was hysterical and she kept screaming, "He shot her, he shot her."
And that's the sort of behavior you would expect under the circumstances, correct?
Objection, leading.
Sustained.
While the sister's friend was screaming hysterically and the sister was lying dead on the floor, what was Colin Ingram doing?
He was sitting in a chair in the corner.
Was he paying attention to what you and the other emergency technicians were doing?
No. He was playing with a video game.
I'm just saying, how does it change my life if there's water on Mars? And wouldn't it be nice if we fed the people on this planet before we went off looking for other planets to screw up?
I'm sorry, but this from the woman who just spent her inheritance on an SUV?
See, you could have sent that money to starving kids on Mars.
Louise is writing a Annie Lamott type book on the everyday sacred.
Oh, you know, how to find God at the car wash.
Oh, yeah. Does God opt for the air freshener?
You didn't tell us he was funny.
So what you working on now, Vincent?
Scientific research into writer's block.
Hi.
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 Everyone, that's my roommate, Donna.
I'm so sorry. I was supposed to stay at the mall until it closed, but Ariadne's teething and she was crying so loud the security guard asked us to leave. Believe me, if I had anywhere else to go, I would. It's just my mother doesn't really like me, and Oscar's mother's dead because he killed her. So you just enjoy your party. Don't give us a second thought. But if it's convenient to everyone, please whisper. Good night.
More profiteroles? Anyone?
Glad I caught you.
You just cannot stay away from this place, can you? Is it the allure of lead paint and floor polish and bad coffee?
I got a boomerang case from last year. A kid can't keep himself in a foster home.
Yeah, just when you thought you were out.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I got 15 whole minutes. Wanna get some coffee?
I can't. And Saturday's no good. For taking the kids out for pizza and telling them about us.
Oh, I got myself all steeled up. Why?
Oh, Zach's got some big school project he's working on. Maybe next weekend.
Sure. Why are we so nervous about this?
I'm not.
Well, Tom, they're 8. What are they gonna do? Forbid it? Hey.
Oh.
Boy is riding with Sabu. Boy is riding with Sabu. Into town in his canoe. Into town in his canoe. Six Sabu is rowing and sneezing. Achumu, 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 achumu. Achumu, 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 achumu. Hip for chewing on bamboo. Hip for chewing on bamboo. Dancing boy into Sabu. Dancing boy into Sabu. Sabu is rowing and crying.
Hey, come on in. We're teaching Ariadne how to be infantile.
Vincent, can I see you in the bedroom, please? Okay, I've had it.
Oh, I hope you didn't give it to me. Is this about the dinner party? Because I thought it went great. I mean, I liked your friends. They seemed to like me.
Vincent, I did things a little bit backwards. I fell in love with you before I bothered to ask if your primary relationship was with another woman and her baby.
Look, if you knew Donna, I mean, it just sort of happened.
Look, you are being a really great friend to her. She's a single mom, and that's great. And maybe it's small of me, but you have this family and extended family and family you're not even related to, and I can't help but wonder if there's room for me in such a crowded life. That's all.
When you stole your father's key and opened his gun cabinet and took the gun, what was your plan?
I don't know.
Well, surely you must have had a plan to go to that much trouble.
I guess I was gonna scare them.
Your sister and her friend.
I need you to answer out loud, Mr. Ingram.
I guess so.
How are you going to scare them?
You know.
I need you to tell me.
Sneak up on them.
You're going to sneak up on them with a gun?
I guess so.
Would it scare your sister to see you with a gun? Would she have any reason to think that you'd shoot her?
I don't know.
Mr. Ingram, I'm getting very tired of I don't know, and I guess so. The court needs to know what happened in your basement that night.
I shot my sister.
Your Honor, my client cannot be required to incriminate himself.
He's already admitted to the act, Miss Bishop. What I'm looking for now is some sense of motivation.
I was just goofing around. I was bored. It was dark in their basement. They were watching a movie, so the lights were turned off.
What happened when your sister saw you?
She screamed.
And then what happened?
She scared me. I jumped and I guess I pulled the trigger.
Mr. Ingram, your tone puzzles me. You're telling the story as if you're recounting an everyday event. How do you feel about shooting your sister?
I don't know.
Rondell Taft was out of state. And since the adoption notice only appeared in Connecticut newspapers, he's only recently become aware of his son's existence.
He became aware when Evie Martell tracked him down so she could pull this stunt.
Mr. Gray, as your attorney will no doubt inform you, when or how Mr. Taft became aware of his son's existence is irrelevant. Now we have the results of the paternity suit, which were positive. You're free to request an independent test. My clients have no problem with that.
Your client willingly surrendered her parental rights.
Evie, why are you doing this? We gave Ned the best possible home. He's happy. We're the only parents he's known.
That's only true because he hasn't had a chance to know us.
And I'm sure you'll be a delightful role model.
Like, you have no right to my son just because you're rich.
If you were so concerned, why did you abandon your pregnant girlfriend?
We're his parents. No one can love him as much as we do.
How much did you love him when you agreed to hand him over?
I thought Rondell wouldn't support me.
Oh, that is such a pile of bull.
Peter, calm down.
I'll be damned if I'm gonna calm down when someone's trying to take my son away from me.
Well, Mr. Gray, he's not your son. That's the point.
We'll have to let a judge make that decision.
Evie, please. We've always treated you kindly and fairly. Please don't do this to us.
And what about everything we invested? Your doctor's bills and supporting you all that time?
See? It's about the money. That's how they think.
Well, at least someone is thinking.
Mr. Gray, get control of yourself.
She broke her promise.
He's our son. We want him back.
I'm not prepared to face life. I can't keep no job. I can't keep no girlfriend.
And that's our fault.
I never got no religious training neither.
Oh, please.
I'm the lawyer, Maxine. Let me do the interjecting.
Gerard is telling you what he lacks due to the negligence of DCF.
It is not part of the department's job to train foster children for the priesthood.
Gerard, during his high school years, lived with 5 separate foster families. 2 Democrat, 2 Republican, and 1 Libertarian.
I don't know what to believe about politics or religion. I got no grounding like in society.
Then, 1 year ago, DCF threw him out into the street with $250 and said, "We're done with you. You're on your own."
And you intend to sue DCF for $1 million because...
Gerard is stunted. Emotionally, physically, intellectually, and spiritually. You people let him down. And if you don't think that's going to play in front of a jury, you're nuts.
Well, let's not assume this has to go in front of a jury.
What? You mean settle?
No, no one said settle.
Maxine.
I remember you, Gerard Kissy. I remember a lot that a jury might find interesting. You are stunted because you preferred huffing paint to eating. And we did not move you from one foster family to another. You persistently ran away from them or stole from them, or in one memorable case, masturbated into the laundry. I set up counseling sessions, which you skipped. I personally ensured that you made it to school so that you would not be expelled for truancy. And do you know why? Because I had hopes that if you could just make it through your teen years, you might turn into a decent human being. But here you are looking for a shortcut, as usual. And as usual, you are coming up short. And if you think we can't make that play in front of a jury, then you're the one who's nuts.
Settle that case would have turned this office into a soup kitchen for every former foster kid holding a grudge. I'm trying to say thank you.
You're welcome.
Damn it, Maxine. To keep asking me to get you a state's attorney for Sanctuary House is asking me to help you leave DCF, which is not in my best interest. I didn't drag you out of retirement to work for somebody else.
Somebody else? It's the children, Jim. It's all for the children.
Mr. Ingram, I've heard nothing that indicates to me that the gun might have gone off accidentally. Nor have I heard anything that would explain why you would purposely shoot your sister. There's no motive, and yet you seem determined to show me that you are completely indifferent to her death. Counsel, my chambers, please. I'm seriously trying to think of a way to recuse myself in this case. I'll find an excuse for a mistrial.
Your Honor, on what grounds?
Colin Ingram should have been charged as an adult in criminal court.
Jeopardy's attached. It's too late to try him as an adult.
I'm aware of that, Miss Bishop. I'm venting.
Your Honor, I looked into moving this case into criminal court, but Colin Ingram has no previous criminal record, nor is there any indication of deviant behavior.
Neither our psychiatric workup nor the prosecution's go so far as to label Colin Ingram a psychopath.
So I have a boy in his mid-teens who apparently gunned down his younger sister in cold blood and shows absolutely no remorse. In criminal court, he could have pled diminished capacity and been incarcerated until he was no longer a threat. The best I can do is put him away for 4 years. And frankly, I'm concerned that he'll still be a danger to society after that. Thank you, counsel. You're thinking I can't recuse myself just because it's a tough case?
It is a tough case.
You're thinking it's before the juvenile court and the juvenile court has to deal with it?
You will have to deal with it.
My worst case scenario, gets out in 4 years and goes on a killing spree.
That would be a bad scenario.
If I could just see some hint of humanity in the boy. A child kills another child, I expect to see some glimmer of pain, some trace of humanity.
This last paragraph sounds a little pedantic.
Really? Because I was going for extremely pedantic. This is my new approach. You make the audience feel they must be stupid if they don't like it. See, I can still make you laugh.
It's never been a question of how I feel about you. God, how do you think I feel being jealous of a poor, lonely single mother?
Look, you're not completely wrong. Donna is a lot tougher than people think. But it's not just Donna, is it? Look, you know I'm a runner. I bail out whenever anything becomes too difficult, but I'm not doing that. I want to make this work. I believe it can work, and I'm willing to stick around and fight for it. That is a huge step for me. Now, if that means nothing to you, then I'll have to accept that. But don't tell me I'm not trying, because I am. Tell me, what can I do?
Go to couples therapy with me?
10 seconds to air.
Good evening and welcome to Slice of Life. Tonight we welcome back author Vincent Gray.
Winter in their town was not just a season, it was a culture, complete with tradition and rules and moral guidelines. Optimism was not socially acceptable. Hey.
Hi. Did you change your mind again?
I wanted to talk to you.
Okay. Do you want coffee or something?
No. No. Look, this is hard.
Wow. Okay. I hate this conversation already.
I was all prepared to tell Zach about us. But first, I called his mom, Leslie, just to make sure we were on the same page.
Right.
And we started talking, Leslie and I. I guess I lost my nerve.
Oh. Well, maybe it's too soon to tell the kids.
I didn't count on how hard it would be.
Well, like I said, we don't have to rush anything.
I told her about us. And Leslie started crying. And we started talking. The reason Les and I split up in the first place was because we were living a lie, and we didn't want Zach to grow up in that environment. But we got married way too young. We didn't give each other a chance. When things started to get bad, we just bailed out. We didn't take the time to think about it.
Just say what you're saying. You don't want to go forward with any of this? Wait, you're getting back together with your wife?
And I'm not moving in, but we're gonna try counseling.
Okay, sure.
And I can't commit to that if I'm seeing someone else.
Right.
It's not like I have strong feelings for her, not the way I have for you.
Don't say that.
It's all about being a grown-up. And sometimes that means giving up what you want in order to do the right thing.
So you're dumping me because you really want me?
I'm not dumping you.
Do you love her?
I don't know. Do you love me?
There was somebody else.
I know.
No. No, you don't know. I liked him. I heard him. I chose you.
I don't know what to say to that.
Well, look, this conversation is making me feel ridiculous, so can you just go?
I can go.
What should we talk about?
I've been wondering that myself. I mean, should we start with the big stuff and work our way down, or should we start small and build up?
I guess that depends on whether she's an inductive therapist or a deductive therapist. See, that's why I love you. Hardly anybody else in the world would think that's even remotely funny. Like what?
Like what?
If we were to start with the big stuff, what would that be?
I mean, besides this thing with Donna.
Well, I guess it would be my concern that you've tied your life to your family while I want the whole world.
I want the whole world. I mean, I like my family. I think that you would like them too if you gave them a chance.
I had enough trouble breaking free of my own family, thank you.
See, I think we should bring up all of that. The way your feelings about your family mess up the way you see my family.
God, that could be true.
And you may have a point about the size of life stuff.
I don't want you to cut your family off completely. I just need options.
What kind of options?
Well, for one, the option of not going to this christening.
You don't want to go? You don't have to go. I mean, I thought it would be nice, but it's not a deal breaker. You're uninvited.
Thank you. But if I did decide to go, of my own volition, what should I wear?
All right, Carol Toby and Vincent Gray.
Thanks. We don't need you anymore.
Thanks for use of your waiting room.
I'm still going to have to charge you.
Mr. Southam?
Are you lying in wait for me?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. I pull some strings, and you will be provided with a prosecuting attorney for Sanctuary House.
Thank you, James.
Don't thank me. I'm pissed.
Colin, do you have anything to say before I sentence you?
Speak to the judge, Colin.
Colin, this is your chance. If this was an accident, you have to explain it to me. This will be your last chance to do so. If you don't take this opportunity to explain it, I'm going to have to assume it's because it wasn't an accident.
Colin, please.
I don't have anything to say.
Fine. In the matter of the state of Connecticut versus the minor Colin Ingram, I find Colin delinquent and the cause of Andrea Ingram's wrongful death. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Okay. I am therefore committing Colin to DCF until his 18th birthday and recommending incarceration at Long Lane.
Is that prison?
It's as close as I can get.
Well, only until I'm 18?
Your Honor.
It's all right, Miss Bishop.
No, that's not enough. That's only 4 years. I shot her. I shot her with the gun. I took the key and I unlocked the cabinet. And I shot her. It doesn't matter whether it was an accident. I killed her. I killed her with the gun. I killed her, okay? I mean, the gun, it was loud and I couldn't hear anything. And I thought it was smoke, but it was blood. It was smoke coming from Andrea's head. I shot her! I shot my sister!
Colin, did you know the gun was loaded?
No! You guys should kill me. You guys should hang me or just shoot me in the heart or something. I don't want to live.
And they brought young children to him that he should touch them, and his disciples rebuked those that brought them. But when Jesus saw it, he was much displeased and said unto them, Suffer the little children to come unto me, for such is the kingdom of God. You know, this is a joyous occasion. You're allowed to smile. Who is sponsoring this child?
My brother, Vincent Gray.
Don't worry, I'll give him back.
You're not the one I'm worried about.
As this child's godfather, it's your responsibility to ensure he gets good religious training. Do you make this solemn promise to his parents?
Vincent.
To the best of my ability, yes.
Name this child?
Edward Matthew Gray.
Through the sacrament of baptism, we are initiated into Christ's holy church. Edward Matthew Gray, I baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. As a representative of the church, I would like to welcome Ned to our community. Is there anyone in the family who'd like to say something?
You're still sure this is what you want to hear?
Yes.
It's not a little close to the bone under the circumstances.
They're good words.
Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not of you. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. For life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday.
All the logic slips away. There ain't another word that you can say. At the falling of another perfect day. This is the falling of another perfect day.
Coming up next on TNT's Prime Time in the Daytime, a woman's killer may be closer than detectives imagined. Solve the case with Law and Order. Next on TNT.
Good, Percy. Give those squirrels hell.
You called him Percy.
God, Amy, you startled me.
Does that mean he's no longer the new dog?
Whatever. Where's Lauren?
She's probably getting dressed. Her new alarm clock works great. Woke me up.
Are you sure this is a good idea? Not many 7-year-olds are ready to be in charge of their own schedule.
What her idea? Anyway, last night she brushed her teeth, she did her homework, she got into bed, and I didn't have to say a thing.
You know, when you were Lauren's age, you wanted to stay up all night to see what you were missing. I remember your father and I came back from a party late, and you were still awake, begging to stay up. I said no, but your dad, he not only let you, he made you stay up. Every time you'd nod off, he'd wake you up. You know, I think that's one of those fond memories that should be said out loud. It must be Jillian and Ned. She's bringing by a new fire insurance policy from Peter. It is now in our best interest for the house to burn down.
Hey, Mom, when Lauren comes down, don't hurry her along. I want it to be her responsibility if she's late. All right, fine. Don't ask Jillian if they've heard from Evie. If they've had any news, they'll tell us.
Are you awake nights worrying about what I'm going to say? Hi, Jillian. Let me have my boy.
That new dog has a loud bark. His name is Percy.
We can't stay long. Peter put a post-it on all the pages that need initials. Where's Lauren?
She's in training to get her own apartment. She'll be down soon. She's just trying to be a little bit more independent.
Oh, good.
So, Jillian, have you heard anything from Evie?
I don't like to talk about it in front of Ned.
Right. I'm so sorry.
See? I got up by myself.
Lauren, it's 8 o'clock. You're supposed to be dressed, teeth brushed, and ready to go by now.
Oh.
Is there anything else you don't want me to say?
I have before me a request from Miss Feinberg for an OTC on what is the child's name?
The child is unnamed, Your Honor, because the child has not been born yet.
So what are we talking about? Incarcerating Miss Newsom until she delivers her child, then taking it away from her?
That is exactly what we are suggesting, Judge.
I hope DCF has a good reason for wanting to put a very pregnant woman in jail, Miss Feinberg.
Your Honor, Maddie Newsom is a member of a cult.
Objection. My client has no religious affiliation.
All right, call it what you will. An extremely closed-mouthed, tight-knit group who live communally while cleaving to radical fringe principles.
At this time, there's an ongoing criminal investigation into the disappearance and possible death of a child who lived with the group.
Objection. It's prejudicial.
Relax, Mr. Weir. We're not at trial yet. I'm aware these are only allegations.
Just another example of federal forces running amok.
Okay. Mr. Weir, you might want to inform your client that this is a state institution, not federal. Possible death of a child?
According to neighbors, a 2-year-old member of the group suddenly disappeared. Subsequent police investigation discovered an amount of blood in the basement of the house, but no body.
Your Honor, this group believes in a kind of rigid Darwinism. To wit, if God deems it fit to take someone, we don't have a right to resist his will.
Survival of the fittest?
Your Honor, this is an emergency. Ms. Newsom is the subject of an ongoing criminal investigation, and she refuses all medical evaluations to assess the health of her unborn child. I'm asking you to consider the law pertaining to crimes against a fetus.
Well, Ms. Dana, as I'm sure you know, the application of that law to the mother is before the Supreme Court right now. So my preference would be to wait and see what they say.
The state has no evidence to support the belief that Ms. Newsom would harm the child that she's carrying, and there's no legal precedent to incarcerate a mother on this type of allegation. We would like to resolve this now.
What?
I just can't believe you don't like Boonwell.
I don't dislike Boonwell. I just say if you've seen Monty Python, you've seen Boonwell.
Oh my God. Deep breaths. You're gonna be okay.
I'm gonna be late. Try to remember I love Foucault.
No, come on. See, that's easy. Look, Belle de Jour is playing at Cinema Cities. Let's go tomorrow night. If you don't love it, then you're gonna love it.
I can't tomorrow night. Have you seen my keys?
Yeah, they're on the desk. Are you working tomorrow night?
No, I've got this family thing. Boring, you know.
You're seeing your family?
It's mandatory. I mean, you could go, but why? You know, so we could both be miserable?
Well, sure. We're in a relationship. Shared misery is a big part of that.
It's my parents' 40th wedding anniversary. Can you imagine their friends sitting around telling some story about a picnic in '66 when my dad lost his swim trunks?
Lost swim trunks? I'm not gonna sleep until I know what happened.
You really don't want to go.
I really, really do.
Really? Huh. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Oh, I can't buy anything.
We're not selling anything. I'm Maxine Gray. This is my associate, Sadie Bauer, with the Department of Children and Families. May we come in?
Why?
We just want to talk with you.
Oh, this is about that lady across the street with the twins?
Actually, it's about your household, Miss Collard.
My house? You mean my kids? I received some calls. There have been numerous reports of screaming late at night, horrible screaming.
No, we just want to be sure that everyone is okay.
Better follow me. Come on, kids, you stay here. Mommy, be right back.
It's 1 cup size, barely noticeable.
Well, if it's barely noticeable, then why is it necessary?
Because she wants it.
Oh, that's all that counts. He's already bought her the dress for the damn boobs he wants to buy her.
All right, all right. Let's just calm down here. Do either one of you have a picture of your daughter?
You mean of her boobs?
No, just your daughter.
This is from a year ago. Her hair's longer now.
Now, I'm gonna set this here. So when you're tempted to go after each other, maybe you'll look at your daughter and realize why we're here. Okay. According to the terms of your divorce, any major decision in Vanessa's life must be made jointly. I'd say breast implants qualify under that heading. So, Miss Holler, won't you tell us calmly why you think this is a bad idea?
Oh, my God. It's so obvious. She's 16. You don't get plastic surgery at 16. It's obscene.
You got plastic surgery. I paid for that.
It was liposuction. I was 30. I had just had a baby. I could not get rid of my stomach.
Amazing. You mean it just doesn't disappear if you sit on a couch eating Hot Pockets?
Okay, enough. Look at the picture.
Miss Gray, this is my grandmother, Catherine Barantis. Why is she tied up like this?
Don't start nothing, Jackie. Just going out of here.
It's all right, Nana. Don't get upset.
You have to stay back.
Please, understand, Mrs. Gray. I won't let anyone take my Nana away.
If we could just have a moment. Could I do something to make you more comfortable?
I just need water and a little sunlight. I do well in all climates.
Mrs. Barantis, we're here to help you. If you are being mistreated in any way, it's my job to see that stops today. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Well, first, let's get those wrists.
Don't touch me.
I won't hurt you.
I'll hurt you.
Why would you do that?
I'm a holly bush. I have thorns all along my leaves. And if you don't know what you're doing, you'll get scratched. I even get scratched myself. I scratch everyone. That's why no one can touch me. No one. No one at all.
These are not responsible people. You have to ask yourself what kind of parents would handle a situation like this.
I'm afraid that question is irrelevant.
What's happened?
They want to take Ned.
Explain how they can just show up this way. We're waiting for a trial.
Evie and Rondell are in the car. They want to take him away right now.
They can't do that.
You're right. But I can go to court tomorrow and file an emergency motion asking the court to vacate the adoption decree. Mr. Taft has passed a paternity test, and it's been determined that his parental rights were terminated without his consent and without due process. Miss Gray, I'm familiar with you and your reputation, and you must realize that no judge in the land would deny this father the rights to his child.
No judge would do anything without a hearing to determine the best interests of the child.
Absolutely.
Amy, if this case were in your court.
Peter, it's not fair to ask Amy what she would
Fair? You want to talk about what's fair and what's not fair?
Look, the point is not how I would rule. This is a process that could go on for years. It's not the kind of thing that's going to be settled at one trial. There's going to be appeals and continuances, and it's a long, hard fight. Years.
But we can win.
Well, I'd be less than honest if I told you that a judge finding in Ned's best interest would be enough. Look, before Rondell's rights are terminated, it has to be determined that he is unfit to parent. Legally, he may have a strong case.
Are you saying that we can't win? We can just delay the inevitable?
I didn't say inevitable.
Fine, we'll fight.
But one day, maybe in 2 or 3 years, we'll run out of delays and continuances and appeals.
Maybe.
And some judge could say to us, I'm sorry for your pain and your child's pain, but in the eyes of the law, your son is not your son and you have to give him up?
Oh, my God.
Ah.
Your clients are the scum of the earth, you know that?
Amy.
I mean, how can they treat people this way?
They feel they have a right to their son.
They do today. Who knows what they'll feel tomorrow?
We have to give him up.
What?
Every day we grow closer. He'll be talking soon, calling us mommy and daddy, and then they'll take him away and it'll hurt him. His whole world will fall apart. We have to do it now, before he knows any better.
Jillian, no.
Fighting would be for us, Peter. It would make us feel better, but it would be worse for Ned. We love him. We have to do what's best for him. There's some jars of food in the back. Those'll do for dinner. He likes a little light in his room at night. I usually pat his diaper for a minute while he falls asleep. If he starts pulling at his ear, take him to the doctor right away. He does that when he has an ear infection. I put his yellow lizard in the bag.
Thank you. I'm really sorry.
You're sorry. Come on, let's go.
He wakes up early, at about 5:30. But if you give him a bottle, he'll sleep for another hour. But don't give him apple juice, it's bad for his teeth. He loves peekaboo.
My goodness, Jillian, you're up early.
I never really went to sleep.
Neither did I. Would you like some coffee or tea?
Well, I'll make it.
Jillian, I'm so sorry. That was a brave thing, and I don't know how.
We had no choice. I was a pretty good mom, I think.
You were exceptionally good.
Maxine, what do you think about us becoming a foster family?
You and Peter?
I was thinking that we could get an older child at first. I figure our mistake was trying to get a baby. Everyone wants a baby, but if you go for an older child, you're pretty safe. Can you help us?
Well, I could. Have you talked to Peter about this?
I tried, but he just can't discuss it right now, and I understand it. He left for work early today. Has a retirement party for Seth Austin tonight. He's thrown himself into his work, which I understand, but that's just a defense.
You know, Jillian, you've been through a terrible thing, and I think you should give yourself some time to heal.
Of course, I intend to heal. I mean, we've lost a child. It's difficult. It's terrible. But life goes on. You know that, Maxine.
Okay.
You want to know about Vanessa? I think the reason why she wants to get her boobs done is because she doesn't want her future husband to leave her, the way Daryl left me.
Come on, I didn't leave you because of your boobs.
You always pressured me to have the perfect body.
You put that pressure on yourself. The truth is, you just don't want Vanessa to be more attractive than you are.
That's disgusting. Is that disgusting?
She makes fun of Vanessa all the time. Asks her how she keeps a boyish figure. Calls her a carpenter's dream.
She knows I'm teasing.
She's getting a complex. Come on, man. Have you got a daughter?
Yes, I do.
All right,
but
so
I
you'd
don't-
want to make your daughter happy if you could, wouldn't you? You'd want her to have what other girls have, and at her age, what other girls happen to have.
Shut up! Just shut up! Shut the hell up! You don't want to know what I think, because what I think is, in a perfect world, I would send you two packing and put your daughter in a place where people know a child's a gift. A gift! And one you don't even have for long in a little girl? A girl is a special gift. Because I don't know if you picked up on this, but girls have been undervalued in the history of this country, this civilization for that matter. They have been treated like decorations, objects, second-class citizens. Yes, I have a daughter. And what I pray about day in and day out is how to prove to her that she has every right to stand up and be counted as a human being. And anyone who thinks of her as anything less is not even worth her time. Not even the space they take up on this planet. So that's what I think, Mr. and Mrs. Holler. Since you asked.
A neighbor, concerned about a small child, approximately 2 years old, had apparently gone missing, questioned one of the occupants of the house. The occupant denied that a child of that description had ever lived in the home. The neighbor called the police.
And you were assigned to the case, Detective Segani?
That's correct. When I questioned a number of the occupants of the house, they all denied the existence of the child.
So you gave up?
I would have, except that the neighbor insisted I look at a video that she had taken that contained the child. I showed the video to the occupants of the house, and they clammed right up.
Was Maddie Newsom one of those people?
Yes, Your Honor.
What happened then?
I obtained a warrant to search the premises.
And what did you find?
With a substance called luminol, we were able to find evidence of blood stains in the basement. That's how we can see blood even after it's been cleaned up.
Did you find anything else?
Yes, on a cot in a utility room at the far end of the basement, we found a large puddle of dried blood.
And what conclusions did you draw?
Objection. It calls for speculation.
Detective Segani is a crime scene specialist. He is more than qualified to draw reasonable conclusions from forensic evidence.
I'll allow it.
I think someone fell down the stairs and hurt themselves badly. I think that they were moved to the cot and left there to bleed to death.
Objection. That's not a reasonable inference. That's a leap of faith.
Sustained.
Did you do a DNA test?
Under Schmerber, we couldn't force Miss Newsom to provide a sample. However, old hospital records obtained by the state indicate that Miss Newsom's blood type is consistent with the blood type found at the scene.
In other words, Maddie Newsom cannot be ruled out as a suspect.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mrs. Ferrantes is 82 years old and no longer capable of taking care of herself. Her granddaughter, Mrs. Collard, did the best she could because she knew her grandmother hated the idea of a nursing home. Finally, Mrs. Collard was simply overwhelmed. She had no choice. But then Mrs. Ferrantes informed her she was a holly bush, and none of the homes they could afford would take her.
So she didn't become a Holly Bush until it became obvious she needed a nursing home.
Apparently, she was completely human before that.
Maxine, a moment, please. I'd like to know what this is.
Well, let's see. Staples, staplers, pen, pencil, legal pads. I'm going to have to go with office supplies.
What were they doing on your desk?
I'm taking them for Sanctuary House.
That's called stealing.
No, that's called redistribution. It's all God's work, Sean.
Maxine, you can't just
Like all
go...
the weekends and holidays I put in without charging the department. You wouldn't call that stealing, would you, Sean?
That's not the point, Maxine.
All the times that I covered for you or made up the difference when you were still learning the ropes. I didn't ask you for a portion of your salary, did I?
Maxine, I don't mind you taking these things. I do mind you sneaking them.
Sneaking? That wasn't sneaking. This would be, sneaking. You know something, Sean? You can keep your office supplies. God forbid that this department should lift a hand to help anyone out. It has taken a while. But I have finally come to understand that I can never, ever trust anyone to behave in a way that is fair or decent or honorable. Move!
Ms. Newsom, will this be your first child?
Yes.
And can you explain the police evidence which indicates otherwise?
No. Unless they altered the evidence.
And why would they do that?
Because the government hates free thinkers and the police work for the government.
Does the government also hate the 2-year-old child that seems to have vanished into thin air?
There was no 2-year-old child.
Ms. Newsom, are you happy to be having this child?
Oh, yes. This baby is the answer to many prayers.
And what is your birth plan?
We have a midwife who's one of our own. She says the baby's in the right position. She checks me every week.
So far, so good?
Thank God.
But if your baby should be born with a horrible defect or have some other medical difficulty, you wouldn't take him or her to the hospital, would you, Miss Newsom?
No. We don't believe in that.
Can you explain that to me, Miss Newsom?
We believe in God's will. When you have children, you're taking a risk. Everyone knows that. People die all the time. Mothers and babies, even when doctors are present. All I'm saying is that I'm willing to accept the will of the divine. God wants his children strong. That's why he created such a beautiful and dangerous world. I want my baby to live. But if God has other plans, then I have enough faith to accept that too. I would never be interested in defying his will.
All right, honey, why don't you hand me those spices? I'll just line them up alphabetically. And then I can put the oil and the condiments on the shelf.
Aunt Jillian, will we ever see Ned again?
I don't know.
I mean, doesn't he have our last name? The minister said it at the christening. Edward Gray.
All right, the shelf is finished. My God, Amy, there's so much wasted space in here.
It's just not fair. I hate Evie. I think she's the meanest person in the whole entire world. I wish...
Sweetie, we're all upset and sad about Ned, but I don't think Aunt Jillian feels like talking about it right now. So why don't you go upstairs and get ready for bed? I'll be up in a minute, okay?
Okay.
Jillian, you really don't have to be doing this.
Oh, but I want to. Peter's at an office function. I'd just be sitting at home alone.
Have you seen my beeper? I'm supposed to be on call.
Oh, was that your beeper? I thought it was Maxine's. I put it in her drawer.
Her drawer?
Yes, I made a drawer for everyone in the house, just to keep the counters clear. Yours is right here.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Hello? This is Judge Gray? Oh, I see. Well, yes. Yeah, I'll be right there. Thank you.
Who's that?
The police. Peter's been picked up for drunk driving.
What? Peter?
I'm gonna go pick him up right now.
Well, I'll go with you.
No, he asked for me alone. Besides, I need someone to stay here with Lauren.
Drunk driving?
Jillian, I need you to stay calm. Okay?
Okay.
So happy to see you, my darling girl. Can you believe it? I've been married 40 years.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Happy anniversary.
Yeah, well, I've been married 40 years, too. 10 of them were happy.
Oh, Hugh, you fool.
Happy anniversary. I'm Vincent.
Hi.
Oh, Mom, Dad, this is Vincent Gray, a friend of mine.
Oh, I'm so pleased to meet you. You know what I'm going to give you One of my little Chinamen.
I thought you weren't making those anymore.
Oh, no. She's still making them.
Don't forget to look in the pocket. There's a fortune in there, like the cookie. And some of them are sort of risky.
Risque, Mom.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Toby.
Oh, no, call me Allison. You know, Carol, I think this one deserves to be upgraded from friend. He's cute. What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry?
You're so cute and not taken. Are you gay? Are you broke?
Mother, just...
I actually am taken.
Oh, got you. There's your boss. What's this wife's name? Oh, excuse us. You.
Enjoy yourselves. This is costing me a fortune, and I don't mean the one in the doll's pocket.
I don't know what you were thinking. To get behind the wheel of a car.
It was a party. Everyone was drinking.
You could have called me. I would have picked you up. It's not like I would have been mad.
Come on, Jill. These days, the way I load the dishwasher makes you mad.
It's a miracle you weren't hurt. My God. I thought my children were old enough that I didn't have to worry about this kind of thing.
I think you got the message, Mom.
Oh, so now you're defending me? Amy just served me up on a platter. Cops want to let me go, but she insisted that they charge me.
I didn't insist. I just didn't interfere.
She wanted to teach me a lesson.
Well, she was right.
Oh, for God's sake, what are you people made of stone? I went to a party, tried to forget everything.
Don't use Ned as an excuse.
What?
You drink too much, Peter. You've been drinking too much for years. You have a drinking problem.
No. I have a losing my baby problem.
Every night it's a scotch, sometimes two. A lot of times you just pass out in front of the TV.
I fall asleep, Jillian. I'm tired from working all day. Where's this coming from?
I've been worried about you drinking for a long time. And if losing Ned is going to make it worse, then I don't know how I'm going to survive.
I gotta get out of here.
Where are you going?
For a walk. It's not illegal to walk drunk, is it?
It's not so bad, is it? Are you having fun?
Does it look like I'm having fun?
Hello. Whew. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. It's a very special evening. Even our daughter Carol is here with her new friend Vincent. And now, for the big entertainment of the evening, at least I hope it's big, will everyone please clear the dance floor?
Oh, no.
I would like to do a special dance for my husband. I've choreographed a tap dance to a song that has special meaning for both of us. I do hope you enjoy it. Sorry, I won't be wearing the tassels tonight, sweetheart.
There was always something. Work was stressful. We remodeled the house. Then there was the infertility, adoption, fatherhood. I just kept thinking that one day our life would be normal and Peter would stop drinking.
Why has this never come up before?
Because I was in denial, hoping that it wasn't true, trying to pretend it was just a phase. When he drinks, he gets very talkative and he repeats stories he's already told me. It's annoying. He also denies that he's an alcoholic, which is a sure sign of a problem.
I deny I have a problem. Does that make me a drunk?
Maxine, you of all people know what I'm talking about.
What is she talking about?
Edward had a problem.
Daddy? Daddy did not drink too much. Did he?
We argued about it from time to time.
You did?
We argued about a lot of things.
You remember the toast he made at our wedding?
Was Daddy an alcoholic or not, Mom? It's a simple question.
No, it's not. We weren't so quick to label people in those days. There weren't all these isms and syndromes. Edward sometimes drank too much and acted silly. But he was never abusive to anyone. He never missed work. It was never anything more than a mild annoyance.
Maxine, he was a drunk.
I take exception to that, Jillian.
Peter is a drunk, too. And we have to do something about it. We have to face facts. Someone has to start telling the truth.
Thank God. We're spared the truth.
Oh, do you have my China man in your pocket?
Just stop.
I'm sorry. I'm just jealous. I mean, my mom can't do the splits.
You know, she's done that my whole life. From the age of 1 to 18. At all my birthday parties, my graduation party. I remember them all. It was about her.
Maybe that's just her way of celebrating.
When I got my first period, she threw a welcome to womanhood party. She invited the entire 7th grade, including the boys. She performed an ancient mating tap dancing ritual. My friends thought it was delightful. And I suppose it's funny from a distance, but she was my mother. The person who was supposed to teach me things, to comfort me, to put Band-Aids on my knee, to calm me down when I was overwhelmed. I just lived in this constant state of terror because there was nowhere I could go to feel safe. No matter how crazy the world outside was, the world at home was always crazier.
Sorry.
I know she's fun. But when you're little, you don't want to be raised by fun. You want to be raised by boring and stable and predictable.
Yeah, like my mother. I mean, except for the boring part.
Yeah, like that.
So maybe you're even a little jealous of my family.
Of course. What did you think?
I think you're safe with me.
The decision to take someone's child should be weighed carefully and not done in haste. In this case, taking the child also means depriving a woman of her freedom. The state feels that the safety of this woman's unborn child is at risk, and that trumps all other freedoms. Mr. Weir would have us believe that the safety of the child is the domain of its mother and the philosophies of the group that she lives with, even though there's no group. And the law is fairly clear on this. Miss Newsom has not been convicted of any crime. I feel my hands tied by the very government Miss Newsom so roundly detests, by the very rule of law that she and her friends despise and flout. But sometimes, as was so succinctly put by a greater mind than mine, the law is an ass. Now, I may be overturned on appeal, but given the fact that Miss Newsom is the subject of an ongoing criminal investigation and that she has refused to submit to the most cursory medical evaluation, and given that my paramount concern is the welfare of the unborn child, I am willing to take my chances with the appellate court.
No, you have no right.
Miss Newsom, for all I know, you may have left your 2-year-old child to bleed to death on a cot in the basement. In my eyes, you have not only relinquished your right to that unborn child you carry, you have relinquished your right to call yourself a civilized human being. Now, I'm taking you into custody and ordering that you be held in a locked hospital ward long enough for your baby to be born safely.
Court's adjourned.
Mrs. Barantes, do you remember me? I'm Maxine Gray, and this is Sadie Bauer.
Don't come any closer. I'll hurt you.
Yes, we know that you'll hurt us, and we know and understand that you are a Hollybush. Now, your granddaughter has explained to us that you are not fit to be kept in a nursing home.
That's because I hurt people. No one can get close to me.
That's right. And because you're a holly bush and no one can get close to you, we are forced to remove you from your granddaughter's home. We are going to transplant you to a place where you can't hurt anyone.
A nut house. You think I'm crazy.
Well, we don't like to use that word, but that is the word.
I don't like to be around crazy people.
I'm afraid we don't have a choice. If you weren't a holly bush, then we would have some options.
Like what?
Well, there are senior centers. They send buses to pick up the senior in question and take them to a daycare center. There you would be with people, sing songs, play cards, eat meals, that sort of thing. Sounds rather fun, but, of course, there aren't any holly bushes present.
Would I have to spend the night?
No, you could sleep here at your granddaughter's house.
I'm not really a holly bush.
No?
It's just a game I play.
Well, that changes things, doesn't it?
I see that the parties have attempted mediation and have failed.
Yes, Your Honor, my client wants to be a good father, but...
That man was rude to us.
What man?
That man. He said terrible things.
It was rude and inappropriate.
Mr. Van Exel, do you have anything to say?
It's all in my notes.
Well, I will review them and consider appropriate action. Now, let me head off any further discussion by saying that there is no way in hell I'm going to sign off on a 16-year-old girl getting breast implants.
Your Honor, if you take everything into account,
There's nothing to take into account, except for a couple of parents who have clearly lost sight of their responsibility. Now, the girl in question is 16. If she still desires larger breasts in 2 years, then she has every legal right to obtain them. Meanwhile, I hope she can come to terms with what's left of her childhood. I hope her parents can, too. That's all.
They weren't wrong. I did lose my temper.
Okay.
I asked if I had a daughter. Touched a nerve.
Bruce, you have nerves?
Just one. I apologize.
Well, I accept. As you know, I also lost my temper today. In the Newsom case.
Judge Gray, you didn't lose your temper.
I didn't?
No. It was the wrath of the righteous raining down on the iniquitous. It was someone who was fed up with moral ambiguity, who needed to make a responsible decision. I was proud to stand next to you.
Oh. I thought they just pissed me off. Hi. What's going on?
Oh, good. You're just in time.
For what?
Peter is at his first AA meeting tonight because of his DUI, and it's really important that the rest of the family take part. I've gotten us each a schedule for the Al-Anon meetings in our area. That's a 12-step group for family members of alcoholics. Peter is what you would call our qualifier, and in your case, Maxine, you have 2 qualifiers.
Oh, good. Do I get extra points?
Please, this is serious.
Jillian, what are you doing? Why is it so important for you to turn Peter into an alcoholic?
I didn't do that.
As I understand it, you are the enabler. Or are we all enablers? I get them mixed up with the qualifiers.
This isn't funny.
You're right, it's not.
Peter got one DUI. It was the day after he lost his son. I have never known him to drink excessively. What is this really about?
Oh, I think we all know what it's really about.
No, don't blame this on Ned.
All I'm saying is let's give Peter a chance to mess up once in his life.
We all have to face reality.
Yes, we do. You first. Ned is gone.
I know that.
No, you don't.
Mom.
I want to hear you say it.
Stop it.
I want
Maxine.
to hear you say that your son is gone.
All right, my son is gone. My son is gone. Are you happy? My son is gone. My little boy is gone, Maxine. He's gone.
Coming up next on TNT's Prime Time in the Daytime, will Amy sacrifice her morals for a promotion? Don't miss Judging Amy, next on TNT.
Come in.
Judge Gray?
Stuart Collins. Bruce, you remember Stu Collins, don't you?
Sure. I remember all the lawyers who tried to overturn you on appeal.
Yeah, nothing personal, I assure you. I was merely a high-paid triggerman who missed his target.
And what are you doing here? Loading up for another appeal?
No, I was in the building. I thought I'd drop by and congratulate you on the Newsom case last month. You tiptoed through a grenade range on that one, and you came out in one piece. Blew a lot of skirts up at the state capitol.
How do you know that?
I'm with the Office of the Governor's Legal Counsel now.
Stu. Why does that not surprise me? You always enjoyed a leisurely splash in the Shark Tank.
Yeah, well, there's no trick to that. You just grow teeth and fins. Seriously, good job on the Newsom case. And know that you got a friend in the governor's office if you need one.
Well, thanks. Thanks. And congratulations on the governor's gig.
Thank you. Bruce?
Stu.
Good to see you. Oh, there's going to be an opening on the appellate court soon. Because of the complex issues coming out of family and juvenile court, the governor's considering candidates with your expertise. I think he'd welcome your application.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Yeah. See you.
I haven't seen footwork like that since Riverdance.
What do you mean?
He didn't happen to be in the building. Came all the way over here just to take your pulse.
For what?
The governor dispatched one of his minions to see how interested you'd be in the appellate court. He wouldn't do that unless he was seriously considering you.
Me on the appellate court?
That's what it looks like.
Wow.
It's time to decide how ambitious you want to be.
The Dow is down 27 in modern trading as tech stocks continue their downward slide.
Hey, I'm listening to that.
This traffic makes me nervous. And I'm in the car too, you know.
What did I do now?
I have to drive you until you get your license back, but that doesn't mean I'm your chauffeur. You could talk to me.
Fine, what do you want to talk about?
You know.
Jillian, I miss Ned too, but talking about it doesn't change anything.
No, but it lets me know I'm not in this all by myself.
You're not.
Then talk to me, Peter.
Maxine! Maxine! Oh,
I'm glad I caught you. I have tickets for the antique show tomorrow.
Tomorrow? I have to work tomorrow.
I told you 3 weeks ago, you said you'd arranged to take a day off.
I completely forgot. I'm sorry, Vivian.
Oh, well, I should be used to it by now.
What does that mean?
After all this time, is work still so sacred, Maxine? Thought you'd learned your lesson from all the times your family had to have dinner with us because you were too busy to get home in time.
My family has always been my highest priority, Vivian. And besides, I've cut way back since those days.
But not enough to take tomorrow off. Well, if that's what you want, I'll see if Norma Ferguson can go.
Norma Ferguson? Honestly, Vivian, you push more buttons than a court stenographer.
She's been much more pleasant since her surgery.
She poisoned your cat.
She was off her medication. I'd rather go with you, but no matter what you say, work always comes first.
Oh, all right. I've been working there for 30 years. They can do without me for one day, can't they?
Well, that's the spirit. Now, the good stuff goes fast, so we need to get there early.
How early?
I'll come to your house at 8. You make the coffee, I'll bring the pastry. We can make it in an hour if we don't stop. Oh, Maxine, you're entitled to a vacation.
Yes, I believe I am.
Can you drive?
Why not?
Miss Stedman, you're representing Sheila Vickery, and you're petitioning the court to have the birth certificate of her son altered to have her listed as the mother?
That is correct, Your Honor.
If she's the mother of the child, why isn't she listed as the mother already?
Because the hospital where the child was born, Hartford Mercy, refuses to do so.
And why is that, Mr. Durant?
Sheila Vickery didn't give birth to the child. Danielle Emerson did.
I'm a little confused. Miss Stedman, you said that Sheila Vickery is the mother of the child in question.
Yes, Your Honor.
But Danielle Emerson gave birth to the child?
Yes, Your Honor.
In plain English, Miss Stedman, who's the mother of this child?
They're both the mother, Your Honor.
Do you like the way this window looks?
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. I've been noticing how much of a difference an artistic window can make.
You window shopping?
No, I've been looking at condos.
You buying a condo?
I know what you're going to say. They don't appreciate that well, and I should wait to buy a house.
No. Actually, I was gonna ask you if you won the lottery.
Well, it's only $120,000. If I put 40 down, the payments won't be much more than what I'm paying now.
40 as in 1,000? In cash?
I know it's a chunk, but I'll still have 40 left to invest.
How have you managed to save $80,000 working for public radio?
I'm frugal, and I've been saving since college. Well, you must have a nest egg between working and having a book published.
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
So where do you have your money?
Stocks. CDs.
So you're diversified?
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
Smart.
Your Honor, this is a case of first impression. There's no law in Connecticut that allows this.
And there's no law that precludes it. But my client's interests are clearly protected by the spirit of the law.
Okay, you two. Let's pace ourselves. Miss Stedman, why don't you take me through it, and then Mr. Durant, I'll hear from you.
Your Honor, Miss Emerson and Miss Vickery have been in a stable, loving relationship for 8 years. And a year ago, they decided to have a child together. Ms. Vickery supplied the egg that was fertilized by an anonymous sperm donor. The embryo was then implanted in Miss Emerson, who carried the pregnancy to term.
So both women are linked to the child biologically?
That's correct, Your Honor. Ms. Vickery wants the section on the birth certificate designated father deleted and her name inserted in another mother section.
That would be tantamount to same-sex marriage. And even Miss Stedman would concede that that's banned by law.
No one is talking about same-sex marriage.
Your Honor, if I may remind the court.
Save it, Mr. Durant. Don't you guys ever bring me anything simple? Well, we're gonna need some time, so let's reconvene tomorrow at
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Carson stops and shoots from the three-point line. Oh, you missed it. Long rebound. Horns got it to the top of the key.
Peter?
Check new mail.
Glass of peace and quiet.
You were mighty quiet at dinner. Want to tell me what's wrong?
Nothing's wrong.
I can wait.
I have a chance to be appointed to the appellate court.
Amy, that's fantastic. It's not fantastic?
Oh, of course it is. Appellate court's what we're all in it for. It's the World Series of the judicial system.
However...
No, I mean, the truth is, I don't know what this job means, and I don't trust my own motives. Is there any real point in wanting it, or am I just falling back into the trap of ambition?
There's nothing wrong with ambition.
Well, there's something wrong when you put it before your child's welfare.
You've been reading too many of those damn child-rearing books. Funny how no one mentions how a father's ambition might harm a child.
I know. She's just been through a lot, and I think it might be selfish of me to consider this.
I think it's wrong to ignore or neglect a child. You know that. I also think it's wrong to ignore or neglect a talent. Think of the example you'd be setting for Lauren.
Well, that's not the only part. And I'd have less time to do other stuff. To see people.
What people?
Men people.
I see.
I'm not giving up on that, Mom.
Did I say you should?
I'm at my sexual peak, you know?
I think they moved that to 40. You've got some time.
I just feel like I'd have to make this choice that I'll be marrying my career and giving up all the other stuff. But I do want that job.
We have the whole day. I told the office not to call unless it was a hostage situation.
Good, because there are some really interesting pieces here. Oh, I may get this Queen Anne table.
Hello? Hello, Sean? Sean, let Sadie do it. Sean, I haven't taken a day for myself in 2 years. Fine. But after that, I'm done for the day. I mean it. I have to make one stop. It won't take a minute.
What kind of stop?
I have to go by the hospital.
The hospital?
St. Timothy's. What? You can wait in the car.
In that neighborhood. Not on your life.
It's downtown, Vivian. It's not a war zone. Or we could cancel the whole thing.
Absolutely not. My day is planned around this.
It'll be fine. Just let me make this one stop.
What choice do I have?
Honestly, Vivian, I'd forgotten how much fun you can be.
The problem with sex is that once you have it, you want to have it again.
I've never seen that as a problem.
Well, it is when you're not dating anybody.
Whoa. Wait, what about What about that cop? No. I mean that karate guy. No. I mean the lawyer.
They're all past tense.
Don't worry about it. You'll find somebody.
Yeah. The smug response of someone whose life is working.
Only the relationship part is working. I'm lacking in other areas, like money.
I don't have any money either.
Well, you got some. You got investments and stuff.
A few. Nothing I could retire on or anything.
Carol buying a condo. She's got 80 grand saved up. 80 grand! She's not even 30 yet.
Well, she probably went to work right after college. You went to Europe. You wrote a book. That's worth something.
I'm so far behind. It's not like I'm getting any richer working at the Examiner.
You don't have any more dad's money left?
What do you mean, Dad's money?
The $10,000. He left each of us in his will. I thought that's how you got to Europe.
No, I sold my car and some blood. Well, I never saw any money from Dad.
Really? Well, maybe there was a stipulation that you not get it until a certain age. I don't know, ask Peter. He became executor after Dad's lawyer died.
Wait. Peter's sitting on $10,000 that belonged to me?
I don't know, and I don't want to get in the middle of this. All I know is that we all inherited $10,000, and you should talk to Peter about this.
Yeah, I think I will.
I didn't mean now.
Miss Shepard? Yes, Miss Shepard. I'm Maxine Gray with DCF.
Miss Gray, thank you for coming.
And, this is my associate, Vivian Galloway. I understand you have a sick child from school. Why do you want to get DCF involved?
Carl Johnson, he's with the doctor now. We thought he had the flu, but he's had it for 6 weeks now, and it's not getting better.
Where are his parents? Vivian? Where are his parents?
Well, I contacted them, and they said they would take care of it, but they haven't. He's a very bright boy and a good student when he's in school, but he misses a lot. Dr. Alden? This is Maxine Gray and Vivian Galloway from DCF.
How's Carl?
He's gonna be fine. I'm sending him home with antibiotics.
What's the matter with him?
Well, he has what's called zoonosis. Technically, it's leptospirosis, which is a disease usually contracted from farm animals. It's treatable, but left untreated, it can lead to kidney or liver failure.
Does he live on a farm?
A dairy farm just out of town.
Vivian, why don't you take a cab to the antique show, and I'll meet you there later.
Oh, no, that's all right.
Well, I have to take this boy home, and I have to speak with his parents.
Well, if that's what you have to do.
It may take longer than I thought.
Is that the boy?
Hello, Carl.
Carl, this is Maxine Gray from DCF, and this is her associate, Vivian Galloway.
I'll see that he gets home, and I'll speak with his parents.
Thank you, Miss Gray.
Vivian, let's call you a cab.
No. In for a penny, in for a pound, Maxine. I might as well keep you company.
Lucky you caught me. I just happened to be working at home today. You want coffee or anything?
No, thanks. Yeah, I called your office. They said you were sick.
I say that so they won't bug me. What's on your mind?
Well, I just got a quick question. You have $10,000 that belong to me?
You mean your inheritance?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Technically, I have it. It's invested. I put part of it in some stocks that have performed well for me. The rest I put in a growth fund.
Really?
Your portfolio's averaged 15% for the last 10 years. Did well during the market rally. There's over $40,000 now.
When were you planning on telling me about this?
Vincent, you were 17 when Dad died. The will stipulated you received that money when you were 21. But you'd finally gone back to college then. And we were scared if you had the money, you'd drop out.
I want that money now, please.
If you cash out now, you'll incur thousands of dollars in brokerage fees and taxes. You're better off leaving it alone.
The money is mine, and I want it now.
You're not listening, Vincent. It would cost you a bundle to take it out of the market.
Never asked you to put it in the market, Peter.
I was looking out for you.
How? By lying to me for over a decade?
Fine. I can get it to you in a couple days.
Thank you.
Johnson?
Yes?
My name is Maxine Gray. I'm with the Department of Children and Families. And this is my associate, Vivian Galloway. Carl's teacher took him to the hospital. It seems he's contracted something from one of these animals. He's going to need this.
Is he gonna be okay?
Oh, yes. But we need to talk.
Run on inside, son.
Miss Shepard tells me that Carl has a history of missing school.
Well, I need him around here sometimes.
You can't keep him out of school, Mr. Johnson, and you can't expose him to health hazards.
Who are these other children that are working?
A couple of them are mine, the rest are Juan's there. Juan Escobar.
Are you aware that it's illegal for underage children to work during school hours?
If Juan's family doesn't work, they can't live.
If it is that drastic, then I can enroll him, or both of you, in an assistance program, but these children need to be in school. That's the law.
If they're in school, the work doesn't get done. The only way a family farm can survive is if the kids all work.
I understand that, but the law clearly
How about
states...
this? You take your ID and your laws, and you and your associate get the hell off my land.
You might as well cooperate with me, Mr. Johnson. I don't want to get the police involved, but I will.
Get off my land. Now.
I guess we're going to do this the hard way.
Go to hell, both of you.
Vivian.
Everything's delicious, Mom.
I didn't do everything. Jillian made the casserole and the salad.
I love to eat a casserole.
Salmon.
Salmon casserole.
You didn't make it to the antique show, Maxine?
No, we never did. I thought Vivian would be upset, but she took it like a soldier.
What?
You're gonna have wine?
Is that a crime?
Remember what we talked about?
I remember what you talked about. We didn't talk about anything because we don't talk anymore. You lecture. And that's only when you're not online on that stupid computer. But if we did talk, I would say to you again that I am not an alcoholic.
Fine, Peter. Do what you want.
Oh, and now for the passive-aggressive portion of the evening.
Peter, we are going to have a nice, quiet family dinner. If you want to have a glass of wine, have one.
Thank you.
Jillian, don't
Will
go.
you give Peter a ride home?
Come back inside. What is storming off going to accomplish?
We're in trouble, and I really don't think we're gonna make it.
Oh, you two have just been through a terrible ordeal. I mean, now is not the time to put your relationship under a microscope.
Will you see that he gets home?
Jillian, Peter's hurting too.
Oh, really? How would I know that? He doesn't tell me. I mean, he won't even discuss Ned with me.
Well, I'm sure it's hard for him.
Well, he's not doing anything to help himself. I mean, I am working on my grief. Amy, I joined an online support group.
An online support group?
For parents who've lost their children. I met this guy. I mean, we talk for hours. And he really understands me. He lost his daughter in a custody dispute, and you know what he told me? He said that Ned would always remember those months that we spent together. I mean, this man comforts me more than my own husband.
Well, Jillian, sometimes it's easier for strangers to talk to each other that way. The lack of intimacy creates an imaginary bond.
Imaginary? I'm not imagining this. I know compassion when I see it, and I sure as hell know when it's missing.
No, all I'm saying is
You're just defending your brother, and I understand that. I do. But you have no idea how lonely I am in my own house.
Percy, sit. Sit. Lie down. Well, you got that standing and staring thing down.
Maxine!
Vivian! What's all that?
Oh, some old clothes of Henry and the kids. I thought you could take them to those farmers.
Oh.
I heard you say they needed assistance.
Well, I was talking about government support.
Did you see what those children were wearing? It was scandalous. I think they'll really appreciate this.
Well, it's awfully nice of you, Vivian, but I...
Look, this is that new microfiber. They can just throw it in the washer.
Thank you, Vivian. I'll see that the Johnsons get these.
Could I go with you? I enjoyed being your associate.
Well, it kind of goes against policy. You're really not supposed to impersonate a DCF worker.
Well, of course, I wouldn't want to do that. I just want to go along for the ride. I'd like to see their faces when you give them the clothes.
Vivian, I really don't think that's going to work.
Well, you know best.
It's just, it's a lot more complicated than you know.
Well, all right. Call me sometime when you're not too busy.
Miss Stedman, Mr. Durant, you two looked particularly dapper on the news last night. Mr. Durant, I see you brought a friend today. Would this be Dr. Stevenson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. For the record, Dr. Lewis Stevenson has filed an amicus brief on behalf of his organization, Family United. Dr. Stevenson, although I'm going to deny your motion to intervene, I will allow you to make a brief statement to express your concerns.
Thank you, Your Honor. Family United is a non-denominational advocacy group dedicated to the protection and preservation of family values. And although we have nothing but pity and compassion for these two women, to rule in their favor would be to impose a fabricated reality.
How so?
The unnatural lifestyle of gays and lesbians can only produce an artificial family, because family can only be ordained by God.
Dr. Stevenson, we're here solely to determine the best interests of the child.
Yes, but these women are challenging the laws of nature.
No, they're challenging the laws of Connecticut. Doctor, I can see where this is headed, and frankly, we just don't have time for it. So do you have anything substantive to add?
There is nothing more substantive than the laws of God and nature.
Thank you, Doctor. So noted. Have a seat. Miss Stedman, your first witness.
I gotta get a new financial guy. You like yours, don't you?
Sure, for the moment. But the second he cost me a nickel, he's history. Why are you switching?
I just wonder if my guy's as good as he thinks he is. Take a look at this. These stocks get dividends of less than 50 cents.
Well, if it's a smaller mid-cap company, that could be a good thing. Are you... are you showing off? The value of your portfolio has quadrupled in the past 10 years. How much better do you expect someone else to do?
I just thought I'd look around.
I wouldn't risk it. I'd like to talk to him myself.
Really?
Yeah, your investments have outperformed mine.
Really?
And you had me convinced you were this indigent writer with no financial skills.
You fell for that?
Come in.
Am I interrupting?
No, Stuart. Come on in.
Back in 15.
You just happen to be in the neighborhood again?
No. Go ahead, eat. I just came over to tell you the governor was very happy to receive your application to the appellate court. I had a feeling you'd follow through.
Well, I'm flattered to be considered.
You got a good shot, Amy. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
So you wouldn't mind if we spoke off the record?
Sure.
The case you're hearing is making people uncomfortable.
The two mothers?
As you know, the governor, as well as the state of Connecticut, is opposed to same-sex marriage.
Well, I'm not hearing a case like that.
This could take us a step closer, and you know it.
Hey, Stuart, career opportunities notwithstanding, I really can't discuss cases that are pending before me.
If your highly publicized ruling were to fly in the face of the governor's pro-family image, he'd take a lot of justified flack from his supporters if he turned around and appointed you to the appellate court.
Well, I really can't worry about that.
Amy, you have to worry about that. The language of the law limits what you can do in this case. Now is not the time to reinvent the wheel.
I'm really uncomfortable with this conversation.
Amy, are you honestly willing to risk your career to put somebody's name on a legal document? It's not as if some kid's life is at stake here. You can't fall on every sword. Just think about it, all right?
I will think about it.
Good. Have a nice lunch.
You just need to sign on all the places I marked for you. You should have the money by Monday. If there's any trouble, call me. I'll talk to the broker. Or you can talk to him. What?
You know that big stink I made about my inheritance? I'd kind of like to pretend it never happened.
You can pretend you're bombed by the cross-eyed Sherpa for all I care.
Peter, I'm trying to apologize.
And then it's like it never happened?
I freaked when I found out I had some money coming.
So you turn on the guy who was trying to look out for you?
I'm behind schedule in my life. It tends to make a person panic.
Well, screw that, because...
Peter, I was trying to impress a girl.
A girl? Carol?
Yeah, Carol. I wish I had loftier goals, but I'm in love. I'm doing all this stupid in-love stuff, like trying to seem smarter and better than I actually am. I thought you might understand.
Oh, Vincent.
I know.
Vincent.
I know. But you always had good girl advice for me. Like when I was in love with Mary Ellen Payne in 7th grade and you told me to ignore her.
Right. Did that work?
No, she dumped me for Adam Noah, but at least I escaped with my dignity. I know this is a hard time for you.
So this is pity?
No. Of course not. It's humility. Carol was so impressed with my portfolio, she wants you to manage her money.
Really?
But you can't.
No, of course not.
I thought maybe you could teach me to invest.
Sure. I could do that. Once a week you come over, I'll spell it out for you.
That'd be good.
So you love this girl?
Yeah. Yeah, I love this girl.
In the matter of Vickery v. Hartford Mercy Hospital. Well, we are living in a world that is changing so fast that the courts are racing to keep up with it. The law has never needed to define motherhood, but now advances in medicine and science require it to. But no matter how much the world around us changes, for this court, the core questions remain immutable. What is a family, and what is best for the child? We have heard testimony that Ms. Emerson and Ms. Vickery are stable, loving, and happy. They have told us themselves that they wanted this child, they love this child, and they will raise this child together. We've heard no testimony to establish them as unfit, except the opinion of some that they are unnatural or immoral. Indeed, God may ordain a family, but he gives us technology to confuse the issue as well. As this court recognizes that both women are connected to the child by biology and that both women are the intended parents, it can find no reason to deny them their request. Moreover, it can find no reason to suspect that this will be anything other than a stable, loving, and happy family. I hereby order Hartford Mercy Hospital to amend the child's birth certificate to list both Miss Emerson and Miss Vickery under the category of mother. We are adjourned.
Mr. Johnson? How's Carl feeling?
You got one hell of a nerve coming back here, lady.
Mr. Johnson, I realize that I was a little harsh last time, and I've come to correct that.
What's in that box?
Mrs. Galloway sent you some clothes.
Why'd you do that?
She thought you could use them. But if you don't want them, then maybe Mr. Escobar will.
Well, we'll never know because Mr. Escobar is gone.
What do you mean?
You mentioned the police and it spooked him. So he packed up his family and moved on.
I'm sorry to hear that. But it really doesn't change anything.
It does for me. I got no help.
Well, I was doing some research, and I've come across a number of programs that can give you some assistance.
I didn't ask you for any help.
No, you didn't. But your children need to go to school, and if you need help getting them there, then you're going to have to accept some.
Do you think some forms are going to change the way my family has lived for generations? All my kids need to know is how to run a dairy farm.
The state of Connecticut doesn't see it that way.
State of Connecticut? Who do you think founded the state of Connecticut? People like me, that's who. People who work the land. We made this country what it is. And now people like you are trying to destroy us.
You aren't the only ones who made this country. This country was founded on the backs of slaves and child laborers and factory workers and soldiers, too, Mr. Johnson. Many of the systems that formed this country have changed because, mercifully, society has evolved.
You don't know anything, do you? How could you, shuffling papers all day? Farming is hard work. Endless, grueling, hard work. And if you're born into a farm family, you're gonna do your share. And if you miss a little school, so be it. Now, you can come out here waving around your forms and threatening to call the police all you want, but it's not gonna change a damn thing.
I'll follow up on Carl's attendance record, and someone from DCF will check in with you next week.
You know, if these kids spend all their time in school, one day they may not have a house to come back to. How does that help anyone? You must take a lot of pride in your work. In just 2 days, you've managed to cripple 2 families. Yeah, go back and tell the state of Connecticut what a good job you're doing.
Been watching this game all night?
Well, I just turned it on. All that matters is how it ends.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Check new mail.
Judge Gray? What the hell did you do in that courtroom today?
I made a decision.
I recommended you to the governor as a friend. I warned you about that case as a friend, and then you go and pull a stunt like that? What the hell were you thinking?
That maybe we're not really friends.
That's very amusing.
Stu, my job is to render a verdict based on the facts presented to me.
Why can't you see the big picture? Who cares cares what happens to my two moms in there? You had a shot at the appellate court, a damn good shot. I practically handed it to you.
Well, I guess that clears up the mystery of how that case ended up in my court.
It wasn't a mystery, it was a test.
That I failed because I followed the rules.
If you want to see it that way.
My job is to make sure that children and families are taken care of. And if in the course of that I'm promoted, fine. Otherwise, I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I can't compromise. I can't climb to the top on other people's backs.
And you wonder why more women aren't in positions of power. No, because when push comes to shove, you lack ambition. You don't understand it.
Well, let's see. I sit on the bench and I make rulings that benefit children and families. And whether they love me or hate me at the end of those rulings, I can look them in the face and know that to the best of my ability, I did the right things for no other reason than it's my job. You run around and try to manipulate people to impress your boss and further your own career? Yeah, bottom line, I guess we have different definitions of power.
Maxine! Oh, Maxine! There you are. I'm dying to know, did you take my clothes to the farm family?
Yes, I did.
Well?
Vivian, they wouldn't even...
They wouldn't what?
They wouldn't stop talking about how much they appreciated it.
Oh, didn't I tell you? You're not the only one who knows people, Maxine.
I guess not.
The little things make a difference.
Right.
Must be great helping people all the time.
Yes.
Oh, I would have been a good social worker. I've always had a way with people. You come on too strong sometimes. You catch more flies with honey, Maxine.
Vivian, what are you talking about? Does it ever occur to you that you have absolutely no idea about how things really work?
Maxine, do you know what your problem is? You need a day off. Things have been too hard lately. You need a break. Oh, you need to go shopping.
Vivian, you're right. That is exactly what I need to do.
I tried to tell you. Now, you stay where you are, and I'll make some tea, and we'll decide where to go.
Okay.
This time, I'm driving.
Wow. I didn't expect it to be you. How are you?
Fine. But here's the deal. I really like going out with you, but there was another guy that made more sense on paper. So I dumped you for him, and now I feel stupid. I mean, partly stupid because he went back to his ex-wife, but mostly I just feel stupid. I liked you from the start, and I couldn't admit it. So I think what I'm interested in is a casual relationship. I like you, you like me, so on. I don't want us to talk about love or the future or even monogamy, but if you think that we can have a relationship in the absence of all that, well, here I am. What do you think?
These times are trying.
Is that a yes?
Inside I'm smiling. I wanna feel the way I used to. I wanna feel it with you. Ah, yeah.
Coming up next on TNT's Prime Time in the Daytime, The drama explodes when the detectives investigate a homicide. Law and Order is next on TNT.
What is it?
I thought you lost that hat.
My favorite snow hat? No way.
I was still thinking you might have lost it. You can stop right here.
No, there's a space right out front.
That's okay.
Hey, bye, baby girl.
Bye.
Lauren! Earmuffs!
Have a good day.
How do you like the donor plaque?
This looks great. It's just what we wanted. I think we should try it out over here. Place it in front of the door so that when people come in, it's the first thing they see.
Mr. Perdue, you must understand, we have to open by the 1st.
Yeah, so you said.
The opening is tied to our matching money and some grant deadlines, but more important, every day this place isn't open is a day more damage can be done.
So this is going to be a place for a bunch of drug addicts, right?
No, Mr. Perdue, it's not for drug users. It's for children. Abused children. How long is this going to take?
Almost done.
This place was built long before the handicap regs, but we were able to work around the space.
Dan and our architect have done wonders weaving their way through a jungle of wrong-headed bureaucratic nonsense. You'd be surprised the hoops and barriers we've had to negotiate to get this place in order.
You're 3 inches too narrow.
What?
The staircase. It's below code.
The plans were approved.
Maybe they were. But the staircase is 3 inches too narrow. I can't give you the certificate of occupancy till you correct the problem.
Corrected how?
I can't tell you how to fix it. I'm just a building inspector. Call me when it's fixed.
Just a moment. Mr. Perdue, I don't think that you grasp the situation. We don't have time for new plans or new construction. What you're looking at is the finished product, give or take some used furniture. When you consider what we're going to be doing here, 3 inches doesn't seem very important, does it?
Well, it's important enough for me not to give you a C of O.
Donna, Oscar's on the phone.
Hi, Oscar. Yeah, that's her.
No, Vincent's putting socks on. No, she's not calling him Daddy. She can't talk yet. That's still a few months off. I'll try. I'm sure she would love to see you after she gets over the croup. I better take her down to the pediatrician now. Okay, bye now. What am I gonna do?
Buy bigger socks, guy. I can't do this.
No, he wants to see her again.
Well, of course he wants to see her again.
You say that as if we're some normal family out for a day in the park.
You're never gonna be a normal family, but that's kind of the deal you made.
No, the deal I made was marrying a man wrongly convicted of killing his mother.
You really believe that? I mean, really? Because most people would have at least a small reserve of doubt in a case like this.
Oscar filled that reserve with alibis and deception. I'm supposed to live with that, and I don't know how I'm gonna do it.
Well, it's not like you have a choice.
There are choices.
Get lunch, time to go.
I thought Aunt Winnie was taking me to school.
Yeah, so did I.
There she is.
Hey, you ready to go?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not late. You thought I'd be late, but I'm not.
Close enough.
You just get your studying done and ace that exam.
Daddy, do I get to read your report card?
Not a chance.
He always gets A's. If it wasn't for him, I would have flunked 4th grade.
When's Grandma coming home?
As soon as she finds out that Las Vegas is a nice place to visit, but you wouldn't want to live there.
What if she likes it?
Where is Las Vegas?
You just follow all the retired people west. They migrate like birds, except they don't come back.
Grandma's coming back. Here you go.
Come on. Can't be late. Steam will come out of your dad's ears.
Bye.
It is 3 inches too narrow.
How is that possible? Well, how it happened isn't important right now. Dan?
If we have to rip this whole thing out,
Oh, God.
ballpark, $10,000. Take a week, maybe 2.
That is not acceptable. If we don't open by the 1st, we lose our federal grant money. We barely have enough money to open as it is.
What you really need is a variance. It's sort of an okay to open in spite of the problem.
Where do we get one?
Building and safety.
Purdue.
For a few $100, your pal might make it happen.
You mean a kickback?
No, technically it would be a bribe.
This is a hearing on the state's request to sever the parental rights of Helen and David Cook from their 3 children currently in foster care. Mr. and Mrs. Cook have been convicted of abusing their oldest child, Alice, and are now serving 7 years and 5 years, respectively. Ms. Schanzer.
Your Honor, DCF feels and the state agrees that due to the severity and the duration of the abuse committed against Alice, the parental rights of the Cooks to their children should be permanently terminated.
Judge Gray, the Cooks deny the abuse and are appealing their convictions. In the meantime, their 2 younger children, Bart and Elizabeth, have been denied visitation. There have never been any accusations with regard to the younger children. Only Alice has claimed abuse. Alice was adopted by the Cooks, and she was a problem child for many years.
Don't even think about that approach, Counselor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll hear testimony tomorrow afternoon.
2 o'clock.
At 2 o'clock.
I part company with Tiffany's Table Manners on their treatment of romaine lettuce, but I have always admired their gusto when it comes to asparagus.
Mom makes me cut it.
That's because she overcooks it. What activity are you off to?
Just a movie. I know it's 2 nights in a row, but I promise I'll make it up to you this weekend. We can go to Riverwalk, or Bushnell Park, or...
Katie!
Consider yourself off the hook.
Well, I know kids are supposed to bounce back. I just don't know if I want her bouncing back that fast.
Katie wants to know if she can take me to the mall.
Well, only if your homework's finished and you've helped put away the dinner dishes.
Then I can go?
Yes, then you can go.
Yes!
Be back half an hour before bedtime.
What should I wear?
Have a good time.
I just didn't realize that Carol could swear so fluently.
Sounds like you and Carol have a lot of fun together.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, Uncle Vincent.
Well, hey, Lauren. You're looking different this morning.
Haven't I seen that shirt before?
Yeah, it was at the mall. Katie bought it for me.
Yeah, that was the shirt that I said was too grown up for you.
Then how come they have it in my size?
Because there are some very small teenagers. Look, the point is that I said you couldn't have it. So now we're gonna have to return it. No, we'll get Katie to return it.
How come you hate Katie?
I don't hate Katie. Now go upstairs and change, you're gonna be late.
Okay.
You hate Katie.
I hate Katie. Oh, I'm afraid she's gonna turn Lauren into a little her.
What's wrong with her?
Well, nothing if you like perky, nubile teenagers.
I think I'm gonna let that one pass.
Look, here's the thing. You can spend your whole life trying to be cute, and then someday you're 30 years old, if that. And what do you have to show for yourself? A drawer full of bad eyeshadows and some accessory crap endorsed by some celebrity they forgot before she hit rehab. I want Lauren to concentrate on the inside things. The things that'll make her attractive to people her whole life. I want her to have wisdom and be funny and kind.
Like you. Or on a good day.
Yeah. That'll be $8 for the continental breakfast.
Thanks for the coffee.
Congratulations. You guys are the best. Thank you.
Ready to take a picture of us? Okay, first time.
Oh, over here?
May I speak with Dashiell Perdue, please?
That's pretty neat.
Mr. Perdue, this is Maxine Gray with Sanctuary House. You came by yesterday, and I was wondering if... could you hold just a moment, please?
I saved you a piece with a rose on it.
Thank you, Sadie.
Come by when you get off the phone. Ken brought his karaoke machine.
I can hardly wait. I'm sorry. As I was saying, I feel that we have some unfinished business, and I was wondering if we might have a meal, go over a few things, perhaps dinner. My treat.
Hello.
Judge Gray? Hi, I'm Winnie Van Exel, Bruce's sister.
Oh, hi. It's nice to meet you.
Hi. Sorry to barge in on you like this, but my mother's out of town, and it's just pretty much ruined everybody's schedule.
Hi, Daddy.
Hi, Angel. Winnie, I'm surprised to see you here.
Well, Mom called, and she's staying over. Bruce, I think she's seriously considering this. What are we gonna do?
That's something we're not going to discuss right now.
Our mother. She's decided she doesn't want another New England winter, so she's looking for a condo in Nevada. Some of her friends moved out there last year.
Winnie, I need you not to be here right now. Rebecca, let's pack this up, okay?
Okay.
But really, you know, a woman her age? I think it's irresponsible for her to move like that. She doesn't know how much we depend on her. I mean, what's Bruce supposed to do with Rebecca? I'm flexible, but I'm not that flexible.
Winnie, Judge Gray has a busy afternoon, so
Sure, okay. I just thought maybe you might want to know about Mom.
tonight.
Bye.
Bye.
I found the missing lawyer. He dropped his pager in the men's room and was unable or unwilling to recover it.
So that's your sister?
Yes, that's Winifred, who has many fine qualities. Good timing not being among them.
And your mother, she's thinking about moving? How old is she?
Judge Gray. You have a very heavy afternoon.
Right.
Do you know why you can't visit your parents, Elizabeth?
They're in jail
And do you know why your mom and dad are in jail?
because Alice said they hurt her.
Objection. These are not alleged abusers. They're convicted abusers.
I understand your objection, Miss Shanzer, and don't worry, I'm not going to relitigate the cooks. But we need to be a little tolerant of the witness. Stay on the straight and narrow, Mr. Trask.
Did your parents ever hit you, Elizabeth?
No, sir.
And how about your little brother Bart? Did they ever hurt him?
They'd never hurt Bart. They love Bart and me.
Elizabeth, would you like to visit your parents?
Yes, please. They never hurt me. They love me and I love them.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Miss Shanzer?
Elizabeth, did you ever see your parents hit your sister, Alice?
She's not my real sister. She's adopted.
Did you ever see your parents hit Alice?
No, ma'am.
Did Alice ever tell you she'd been beaten by your parents?
Alice lies.
Oh, what do you mean Alice lies, Elizabeth?
She says things that aren't true. It's a bad habit. It causes trouble.
Your Honor,
You picked the street, Mr. Trask. It goes both ways. Proceed.
Did you ever see any cuts or scratches or bruises on your sister, Alice?
She's really clumsy. She falls down. Everybody falls down.
Nothing further?
I think we're done for the day.
No. Wait. You have to let us see our parents. It's not their fault. They love us. Honest.
It's all right, Elizabeth. You don't need to answer any more questions.
Look at that.
Here, get down here.
Hello.
Hi, Mom.
What you doing?
Brittany's website.
Oh.
Push that.
There you go.
Okay, now wait,
Just
go
click
back.
it. Oh, Miss Gray. You know, Lauren told me that you were unhappy with the little top I got her at the mall, and I told her I'd talk to you about it.
Oh, really?
You know, I didn't mind getting it for her. It was on sale, and I get all these frequent buyer points.
It's not about buying the top, Kitty. I can afford to buy my daughter clothing. No, Lauren knew that it was the kind of thing that I wouldn't let her have, so she went around me and got you to buy it. You were being manipulated.
No, she didn't manipulate me at all. And she looks so cute in it.
It's too old for her.
But, you know, that's kind of the fun of dressing up. You know, little girls play with dolls, and sometimes they are the dolls. It's how girls learn to be women.
The top goes back. And I decide what's appropriate and inappropriate for Lauren. And frankly, I don't think you're in a position to discuss maturity with me.
What do you mean?
I mean, I haven't been very happy with some of the choices you've been making lately.
Oh.
Such as taking her to loiter at the mall.
Oh, we only go after schoolwork's done.
And letting her wander all over the internet.
Oh, I keep an eye on her.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I can trust your judgment. There's a lot of stuff out there that I don't want Lauren to be exposed to.
It's just Brittany. I mean, it's pretending.
Katie, I am not debating this with you. You have no voting stock in this matter. You're an employee. That's your position in this house. Understand?
Oh, you're here now. So I should go. Bye, Lauren.
Bye. Daddy, will you help me with my number?
Not right now, honey. We're late.
Someone's supposed to check them.
Let me get you to school and we'll see if there's time to check them, okay?
Grandma usually helps you with numbers.
I know.
When's Grandma coming home? Uh-oh.
I used to say that it was like a nightmare, but you eventually wake up from a nightmare. This is madness. I have a job, a house, and a family. Look at me now. My wife and I did nothing to Alice. Maybe she resented it when we had Elizabeth and Bart. I don't know.
You have never been accused of abusing Bart or Elizabeth, have you?
No. No, sir. No one said we ever laid a finger on them. I mean, they're our babies, for God's sake. And not being able to see them, it's torture. If we could see them, if we knew that there was a chance when this was over to somehow be a family again, that would be something to hold on to. It would be a way to keep some kind of sanity.
Thank you, Mr. Cook. Your Honor.
She answer?
Mr. Cook, you and your wife were convicted of physically abusing your daughter Alice over a period of several years. Is that correct?
We did nothing to Alice. We denied the whole sick story under an oath to God.
And yet you were convicted, weren't you?
Yes.
And not solely on the word of your daughter, but on the testimony of co-workers, neighbors, 2 doctors, and your own mother. Is that correct?
I told you. It was madness. Everywhere we turned, it was madness.
Marshals, whatever that is, can you make it go away, please?
All right, folks, you're gonna have to leave.
I got it, Judge Grant. Excuse me. Excuse me. And who are you? Whoa. One at a time.
Okay, what the hell was all that?
Bonfilio versus Bonfilio.
And why were all those Bonfilios trying to get into my courtroom?
I made a mistake. They were called an error.
Well, Don, I count on you to keep my cases from rear-ending each other.
I'm sorry.
I know that you have a lot on your mind.
It wasn't her fault. It's mine. Donna told me the Bonfilios wanted to move. I dropped the ball. Sorry, won't happen again.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Oh, I better go check on them. The Bonfilios.
Back in 10 minutes.
All right. Bruce.
It's no big deal. I made a mistake. I don't make many, so it seems more significant than it really is.
No, I was just going to ask you if everything's okay. With your mother and your sister. How you doing with all that?
Maintain an even strain. Back at 9.
Dashiell. What do your friends call you?
Dashiell.
All right. I wanted to get together with you, Dashiell, because I believe there's been a misunderstanding, and I wouldn't want that to get in the way of your doing your job.
My job's finished. She fixed the stairs.
I've spoken with the architect and the contractor, and they tell me in cases like this, it's possible to get a variance, enabling us to receive that all-important certificate of occupancy.
Well, I suppose you can get a variance for the stairs, but I can still hold up the certificate for one of 5 or 6 other violations I found.
There were other violations?
I was letting you slide until the staircase.
What about the staircase made it such a cardinal sin?
Wasn't the staircase per se. It's just that I finally had enough.
Enough of what?
You really want me to tell you?
Very much so.
I'd had enough of you.
Me?
You and people like you. I've been doing this job for 15 years. 15 years I've been looking out for people, keeping them safe. Nobody notices because the newspapers don't print headlines about a building that doesn't collapse. It's not like I don't think what you're doing is important. It is. I'm glad you're doing it. The other day I just had enough with the good, noble, self-sacrificing people. Like I said, it's not just you. You just happen to be the cherry on the sundae.
Am I to understand that you are holding up my certificate of occupancy because I hurt your feelings?
It's a matter of professional respect.
Respect? Respect? Respect, Dashiell, is earned. They don't issue it to you along with your business cards and a county car. If you wanted applause for doing your job, you should have become a juggler. How dare you threaten this project? What gives you the right to turn everything into a schoolyard vendetta? As for my behavior towards you the other day, that came after 33 years of having my social skills sandblasted by a job I do very well. It's not your fault I am the way I am. You are just
the cherry on the sundae. On second thoughts, I wouldn't want to bruise your integrity further with a perceived bribe. Pay for your own damn French fries.
Sounds like you really like the place. Is there a waiting list?
You haven't given them any money yet, have you?
So this could happen in about 2 months.
That's awfully fast. I think you need time to think this over. You still on the afternoon flight?
When I'll meet you.
I thought you were picking her up.
One of us will be there, don't worry. Look, Mom, I'm glad you found something you like.
Just don't give them any checks until we all discuss it, okay?
I love you, Mom. Goodbye.
Bye, Mommy. Thanks for nothing.
What?
Why didn't you back me up? We can't just let her pack up and move.
Winnie, it's her money. More important is her life. She can do whatever she wants.
Oh, so you want her to go away?
Of course I don't want her to move. But she hates the cold. She has friends there. Maybe she'll be happier.
She hasn't thought this through. We need to make her understand what this would mean, Bruce, and we have to put up a united front.
Maybe what this means is if the chicks won't leave the nest, sometimes Mama Bird has to fly to Las Vegas.
Screw you.
Come on, Winnie.
No, let her go. I'm not the one who needs a babysitter. See how much work and studying you get done when Mom's not 10 minutes away.
You think I'm looking forward to that? I'm not, believe me. I don't know how I'm gonna handle it, but I will handle it.
Because you're the big smart one who never slips up. What about me, Bruce? Just because you can do something doesn't mean everybody else can. You just can't ever back me up on anything, can you? You just won't help me.
Winnie.
Just... You're gonna say, Winnie, how about helping yourself for once? Do me a favor. Say it when I'm on the other side of the door.
Oh, it's just the best movie. It's about this one family, well, no, 2 families, and how they change and how the country changes around them. And I can't believe I've never seen The Magnificent Ambersons.
Is it a black and white movie?
Yeah.
I don't like black and white movies.
Well, you say black and white like it's a distinct genre.
Well, they just don't move as fast as color films, and people talk more black and white. It just doesn't do it for me.
Huh.
So, how's life?
It's pretty good, except I think I'm sitting on a sponge.
How are things at home?
Proving the chaos theory one day at a time.
Okay. It's good.
Your 3rd degree doesn't give off a lot of heat. What's on your mind?
I got a call from Katie.
I see.
She started crying when she was on the phone with me.
Uh-huh.
She said you yelled at her.
I didn't yell at her. There was a problem, and I needed to make myself clear, but I did it in my normal voice.
Okay. Good.
We just needed a little boundary adjustment, that's all.
Right.
It's not like she's not doing a great job. It's just sometimes she forgets she's my employee and not Lauren's girlfriend.
She said you said that.
I didn't say exactly that.
Something like that, she said.
I'm sorry she's upset, but she has to understand that she can't run Lauren's life like some teen beat Mary Poppins. Does she talk to you a lot?
She's my niece. I talk to her.
Specifically about me and Lauren and what goes on in our house?
Not specifically. She was feeling bad, and I'm the guy she calls when she's feeling bad.
Well, you didn't tell her you were going to talk to me about this, did you?
She doesn't know anything about us. And this conversation is officially creepy, which is not what I had in mind when I filled up the tub.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. You're right.
For a long time after the Cooks adopted me, that's just how I thought a family treated you. And by the time I figured out that it wasn't, I didn't think that anybody would believe me.
And what would happen if you broke a rule?
Dad would hit me. Mr. Cook.
With his open hand or his fist?
Both, depending upon how bad he thought that I behaved. Sometimes he would use this piece of wood. It came off of an old screen door, and there were other things, if they were handy.
Did things change for you after the Cooks had Elizabeth and Bart?
Yes.
How?
I was adopted because Mom, Mrs. Cook, thought that she couldn't have babies. And before Elizabeth, they would tell me how lucky I was that they had to adopt me and how grateful I should be. And I was grateful. And after that, I realized that things were going to get bad for me. And it did.
The beatings increased?
Yes.
Why do you think that happened, Alice?
They said that I had gotten lazier, and that I couldn't do anything right. But I think that they just didn't want me to exist anymore. They had their real kids, and I was their fake kid. I was a mistake. And that's when I became afraid of them. So I had to do something for me, and for Elizabeth, and for Bart. I'm sorry you're in jail, but there's nothing else I could do. I don't know if you really don't remember what you did to me, or if you're just lying, and I don't know what's worse.
Your Honor.
Sit down, Mr. Trask.
But one day you are gonna remember what you did to me. Or you'll stop lying. And I think that that day is gonna be very hard for you. But I do want you to know, for whatever it's worth, I forgive you. Mom. Dad. Daddy.
I take it last night was not a magic evening.
If he demanded money or even sexual favors, things might have worked out. But he didn't want that.
What do you want?
Dignity, a tribute I was unable to pay. I was blindsided by pride. Mine, not his. Oh, Fran, I lack delicacy.
No kidding.
I told Dashiell it had been sandblasted away, but that's not true. I think it went through a process of erosion, a little at a time, without my noticing. Or choosing not to notice.
Dashiell.
That's his name. Dashiell Purdue.
Hell of a handle.
Mark it well. When this place doesn't open, we can put a big sign over the door. Dashiell Purdue. Look on my works and despair.
We will open, Maxine. We didn't come this far to have someone named Dashiell stop us.
He didn't stop us, I did. If I'd been stuck in traffic,
and missed his inspection, we'd have that certificate of occupancy now. But I made good time that morning. Caught all the lights and arrived to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Divorce attorney asked if there'd be a problem serving papers on Oscar. I didn't think so.
No, he's pretty easy to locate. Donna, divorcing Oscar, are you doing this to protect Ariadne or because you're hurt that Oscar lied to you?
A. First choice, number one.
So you're not angry that Oscar lied to you about killing his mother?
Oh, no. I'm angry at me for believing him. It makes me look like some kind of romantic, idealistic dope.
You are romantic and idealistic.
Which is bad enough without looking really stupid. How could I have allowed myself to be deceived by him?
Yeah, it's a certain amount of deception at the start of any relationship. A window when you don't question the other person's story. Granted, Oscar left out something bigger than most.
I feel like the punchline at the end of a really mean practical joke.
Knowing you led Oscar to confess. For the first time, he took responsibility for what he did. Regardless of what you think about souls and redemption, that's important. And it wouldn't have happened without you. It doesn't feel like a joke to me.
What should I do?
Tonight, you don't have to do anything.
Helen and David Cook were convicted of physically abusing their daughter Alice and are currently serving sentences in a state facility. Now, incarceration does not, in itself, warrant termination of rights. Beyond that, neither of the Cooks were ever accused of physically harming their other two children, Elizabeth and Bart. Of all that I've heard, one testimony stands out in my mind. That of Elizabeth. Elizabeth gave me special insight into what it might be like to have the Cooks as parents, and I'm grateful that they called her in their defense so that I could hear what she had to say. Mr. and Mrs. Cook, you have squandered your children. You beat one child and you hollowed out the minds of two others, filling them with a fear that you perversely equate with love and respect. It is left to me to protect these children that you have damaged so egregiously. So, I am granting the state's petition to terminate the parental rights of David Cook and Helen Cook with regard to the three minors, Alice Cook, Elizabeth Cook, and Bart Cook. The Cooks will be permitted no contact with these children of any kind. That includes telephone calls and letter writing. Marshals, we are done, and the Cooks are leaving. We're in recess, 15 minutes.
We didn't do anything to any of them. How can you do this, Doc?
I can do this, Mr. Cook, because I have met your children.
No, we're right on schedule. I'll check with you tomorrow.
You were saying?
I can fix the window problem with a sledgehammer and one man, but this still leaves the staircase.
Which would still be 10,000.
Yes, but I gotta tell you, even if the money is there, and I start right away, I don't know if I could get it done to meet your deadline.
What does he want now?
Hello?
I called your office. They said I could find you here.
What's that? A subpoena?
It's your certificate of occupancy.
Thank you, Dashiell.
Well, I'll let you get back to work.
Just a minute. This will have to do for now. But we'll have a real one in place in time for the opening. In recognition of your efforts, Mr. Perdue.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Noodle. Hello, Katie.
Hi. Hello.
Katie, thanks for bringing Lauren over. I hope it didn't upset any plans you might have made.
No, Miss Gray.
Well, good. Because, I wanted to talk to you about the other night. Katie, I'm sorry if I upset you with what I said and how I said it. I want you to know how grateful I am that someone as smart, dependable, and enthusiastic as you enjoys spending time with Lauren and the rest of us. I think you know what you mean to Lauren. I know I do. And maybe I was jealous of that.
You shouldn't be jealous.
No, I shouldn't. But sometimes we do things and we feel things we shouldn't. So you and I still need to sit down and discuss what's best for Lauren. But right now, I wanted to say I was sorry about the other night, and hope you accept my apology.
Sure, I do. I was going to apologize to you. My mom says sometimes I have more personality than I know what to do with, and people don't know how to handle it.
Well, we'll both be more careful from now on. Okay?
Okay.
Well, I need to get back to work, so I'll walk you guys to the stairs.
Coming up next on TNT's Prime Time in the Daytime, the drama erupts when Amy rules over a troubled teenager. Judging Amy is next on TNT.